quick pastel called Lynns flowers. So that's the image. It's online. You can print it off, or you can copy it on your iPad, paint it from that, or whatever you want to do. Lots of colour in it. I didn't buy these flowers actually. She ordered them. So they just call Lynns flowers because she ordered them. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we need some hairspray, or you need some fixative. We're going to be using inscribed pastels, yeah. And I've actually got pastel next week at Lynns flowers, so I could have used this again, but I might use something else. Well, I will use something else, because I'll be doing the same one. So if you're a Lynns grouper, we're doing this next week as well. If we're still here and Andy Burnham stuck up first and we're not in lockdown. Alright? But I shall let you know if we are. So, nice and colourful, lots of different tonal values. We don't actually start drawing the whole thing, it's kind of impossible. Yeah? So I'm just kind of using these lovely shapes actually, like that, and then I'm going to blend other shapes and other tonal values into it, yeah, especially in the background. Darker colour, because you're working from dark to light, naturally, aren't you? So you want to keep some lovely warm, lovely cool colours, bit of green there, shapes up there. You can put some kind of orangey yellows in, like that, up here, and then we've got some more reds over there, and then we're going to blend it a bit, and then paint round things, okay, just like that. Not actually trying to do any kind of, you know, representation, just lots of different colours. You can have some warm colours like burnt siennas, oranges in the foreground, and I've got a lot of white which we're going to use later because that's going to be the background tone. Alright, so that's coming off here. Have a good time, just splash it on. Give yourself some nice tonal values. Get a tissue, right? If you want, or you can just blend it like that. And this will give you an underpaint. If you do a tissue, you tend to take quite a bit off, so yeah, you don't press on too much. Like that. So you just keep this lovely, these colours underneath, so you don't want to kind of keep blending them until you end up with nothing. Only brown. We don't want brown. Okay. And that's going to be a finished version of these flowers. Lovely. So that's going to be the underpainting, really. Like when you go and buy gesso paper, not gesso, English paper, they all come in different colours. When we buy it, we do our own gesso paper and then we colour the underpainting, okay? So that makes it these lovely tonal values. I'm going to use a bit more purple in the centre, it's around here as well, just to give me some darker tones. Yeah? These are different pastels actually, these are inscribed. These are not inscribed, these are, what are they called? Unison, which you can mix water with. And some lovely mid-tone values, greens, grey greens, blues, you see? Still be fine as sticking loads of blooming colour on. Have a good time, like that. We don't need to draw anything yet. We just keep these really strong tonal values. I've got cadmium here, we've also got alizarenes. I'm just looking at some of the shapes, actually. I'm trying to recreate some of these areas that are going to be quite relevant to the picture. Yeah? Some of these others are not too bad, so we can do it like pinks and alizarenes, like that, something like that. Lots of green over there. Again, you can blend it a bit. The idea is not to get rid of your underpainting. Keep your underpainting. Keep glazing. Glaze it. Okay? I'm going to fix it. Excuse me. Hang on. I'll do a bit more purple. Kind of purple tones up here as well. Let's keep all these different colours. Blend it. And paint the negative. So when we spray it, I'm going to dry it off a bit. It will go darker. Okay? And then it needs to dry, and we go back over it. Okay, I'm just going to get it dry. I've got to get it from this morning. Tomorrow afternoon, again, we've got the watercolour class. Everybody's interested at Lynns? I've got about 14 regular members who are coming. And the room's quite big, hold about 20 people at least. So we're all safely social distance. Okay? Right. Here as well, I need a haircut. Right off. Yes, we're going to try and find these colours. A lot of background. Okay, that's lovely too. Come on. Yes, old pepper. Always have a damp cloth handy. If your name's Andy, have a damp cloth anyway. Just clean your hands like that, yeah. Keep the dust down, because you don't want to be breathing it in. Bad for your chest as well. And we've got some white pastel, which I'll use quite a bit for blending and background later. Well, a lot of these are colours. I'm going to just kind of lightly just sketch out the image. So we're looking at this kind of shape for there's a lot of flowers here, and there's just the shape of the vase, which is in this kind of area. Yeah. So I'm just going to scumble that in, or draw that in lightly. The thing is with these glass vases is as you can see through them, you have to try and make them symmetrical naturally, yeah, so you can see through like that, and they're lined up correctly. Yeah. A lot of the things are disappearing into other areas in these shapes, so you can just start to paint with your pastel. Yeah. This is a dark blue. So we're just looking at some of the shapes and some of these lovely shapes of the flowers, like around here, and where one links to another, just ever so slightly, you know? And then some stems. Here we've got coming out there. If you hear somebody singing, it's our Richard. Just come in, just as I started again. It's amazing. And there's a lovely big flower there, irises, and the stem there. It's really nice shape, and that orangey shape, and this, and they've got the reds. So we're kind of picking out some of these bright red areas, like that. We've got different tones. If you mix blue with your alizarin, you're going to get darker tones, so just kind of block them in. If you've not got the colour, it doesn't really matter, because you can mix the colour and you can add the shape. So we want to keep these really strong areas of tone, and these oranges like that. So the oranges in those leaves, not leaves, the petals, okay? And down here as well, I'm just kind of looking at one side's red, one side's not, for getting that shape. Same over here, things like that, lovely. So a lot of this is going to be our background. So I've got some dark green. I'm just going to come back to work. Good. Got some work done on. And we've got some dark green and some leaf shapes, something like that. We'll do something in that bowl. Alright. I'm also going to have some kind of shadows coming away of this direction. with the image I've actually put some white in the background to get rid of the chairs, our leather chairs, our kind of, you know, but so it becomes a flat background. That is the bottom of the vase, and that is the top, so you got less of a curve on it, alright, and more of a less of a curve here and more of a circle at the bottom. So that's what you try and achieve, to make it this lovely shape like that. I'll draw some of these shapes like that. Angles, things coming out, all sorts of things. We've got quite a bit of warm green over there, and then these lovely flowers. Okay, I'm going to look at some of these warm greens by adding, I mean, the more pastels you have, the more you can create these different colours. But if you haven't got them, you can mix them, so you can do a lot of mixing. Okay, don't worry if you've not got them. So here we've got this really nice reflected light on the vase, something in there which goes nicely with the blue, yeah, something like that. We've got a bit over there, it's just a minute, we've got stems and whatever coming out the bottom. That's where the water is as well. You can just see the water, just about here, which offsets the stems. Okay, so if you get these really warm green areas of the stems, which if you look at the bottom there, it comes down and then it kind of moves over there. So you got that stem, and the same this way, you got a thicker stem, and that moves over slightly to one side because it's refraction. Is that what it's called now? We used to call it at school, I think. Anyway. Some lovely blues in there. I'm just noticing some of these really nice shapes of these blue tones within the vase. I'm not even starting my flowers yet. So the vase has got purples, blues, all sorts of things. So we can like put a bit more purple there. There's a shape there which is quite purpley. Bits in between the stems on the table. Nice darks as well. I don't tend to use black. We're just trying to make these really strong darks by using blue here. Yeah. So keeping that lovely vase shape, and then we can add a shadow. The light was coming from this direction actually. So if I look at the background as well, I can add other colours. We've got a negative space there, which is the background. And you don't have to have it the same tone of value as, or the same colour I should say, that it is on the picture. You can have blues, you can have purples, you can have anything you want really, just to make up these lovely tones. We've got some warm areas just within this, like leaves and shapes coming out like that. Again, we're going to go down quite dark and green. Squint your eyes, have a look at the greens around these petals, yeah. So you get these really nice greens against the reds, like that. And every now and again you see the shape of a flower itself. This is really nice. I can go over that actually. A nice shape here, and this is coming off the picture more or less. Quite a big area. But again, we've got some nice greens there. As you start putting in these shapes, it starts making a bit of sense. Yeah, don't worry too much. I've got these really nice kind of greens coming out with the yellow flowers on top. So it's a lovely shape. And the shape of this, let's put that in. That's curving, you see? It's curving away into the background. These are lovely purple. I don't know what they call that actually, but again, these flowers from down south, and they're quite nice. They're a bit of trouble, but anyway, looking at the shadows and the tonal values on some of these other, so I've got a really beautiful kind of purplish tone on that side, and then we've got another bit in the middle there around the the orangey petal shapes, yeah. And then over here we've not got anything, it's just another petal. So I'm just trying to pick it out, some shapes, and then hopefully from a distance, which is what we want, they're going to gel together. Okay? Yes. Thank you. And then we can start adding things like stamens and anything like that, oranges, whatever. Just enjoy yourself. Just slap it on. It's all about having a good time, yeah? So don't try and make everything too pretty. It's colour. I mean, pastels are brilliant for colour, yeah? Because you can make all these different colours. Yeah? So I can put that shape in there and these stems. The last thing you should put on is white, really. But then again, that's not always a plan. You can alternate. You can go from dark to light. You can also add your lights in while you're blending things as well. So it's like if you've got an area that you want to be quite pinky, for instance, this is a pink. Got a pink here, so that's a bit lighter, if you can see. I've got a bit of pink here as well. If you fix these again, you can go over the top, so don't worry about things being out of sorts. We've got this orangey colour round about there, but it's just coming a bit forward. And then we've got some other pinks here at the edges of the leaves and things, petals and whatever. So that's a nice shape. Greeny orange for the bud. And also, I'm not going to put too many of these in yet because I'm going to paint the background, like I said. Some lovely orange, yellowy flowers around about that area, and then we get some stems. This one actually is coming down from there, and then we get some nice yellowy greens and orangey greens. So quite nice shapes coming out in there as well. This direction, straight lines. You can go over these stems with orange. We've got one there as well, which actually is going the other direction. And this lovely orange and yellow, which goes into one big shape there actually. It's quite nice. And then I get some reflections here from what's coming off the table. You don't have to have the table warm. You can have it warm on one side and you can have it cool on another. It doesn't really matter. It's just giving you that feeling for light. Okay, so get my blues, because I want some kind of blues over here, just to paint around some objects, especially that. I've got the blue in there, and then I'm going to use white to just kind of blend things together, because white will pick up all these different colours. I just want to make this very obvious, this leaf, this petals, these petals here. Just painted by painting the negative. Again, that's a bit of a pinky tone. So if we look at this shape, and it's got a curve in there and going like that. All right, then it's going up here a bit, and then we get the stamens are coming out like this from the centre of that flower. This is going in another direction. This is blending a little bit. Just keep moving around the objects. Don't try and do everything at once. Keep using different colours. Different blues, for instance. Yeah, nice light blues. This is going to be the part that's in shadow quite a bit. I've also got these really lovely shapes around the tops of that. That's the negative that brings out the shapes of these things like that. Which we can pick up later. There's a painting on the wall though, so it's reflecting the light, so don't worry about that. Get rid of that. Don't have to put everything in, do you? Anyway, I've got some hard white pastel, a bit of creamy one, something like that. So just looking here, I'm just going to block in some of the background around these, some of these petals, and they're just kind of negative spaces. It is quite confusing. You're going to get a little bit lost. Whatever you've not got in, you can always put in later as a positive object, okay? But when you see these little kind of triangle shapes that you're getting in between the flowers, every now and again you'll find out where you are, kind of the green leaf, yeah? And then other things happening at the side of it. So it's a nice big kind of negative space area like that. And then you start to see the shapes in between stems of flowers and whatever. So this one, it's quite a little bit confusing at the moment. But don't worry, we will find it. So that's the blue area in the back. This is, like I said, it's a hard white pastel, so we can block that in and it picks up any colour you put underneath. So you're getting the shape of the objects, aren't you? The more you press on, the more it's going to stand out. So if I come over this area, see, you get this really nice background tone, and the shapes within these, between the flowers and the petals and whatever, and that gives you a nice colour. Looking around the top of that one, we've got stems here and things like that. So here I've got a shape, and then I've got something else there, and this is going that way, and then I get some stem in there. So if I block all that in, I can draw the rest, the flowers, the petals, yeah, things in the background like this. So I've got some lovely shapes here, which is kind of a leaf or a petal shape, and then something else, and then the bit between the stems. So when you paint two negative shapes in the background, you get the stem in between. So you know, just let yourself be free. Free your mind. Like I said, when we paint this, when we spray this, it's going to go darker again, and then we can start bringing out some of those really strong flower tones. Every now and again you get a kind of an area that you just see through something. Yeah? We've got some, actually, just looking now, you've got these like, something darker. You've got these little balls of red tone or bluish. You've got different tones of these. So you've got this little kind of balls of colour, red colour. Never seen them before then. But in the middle they've got reflected lights. So just put a few of them close together. You've also got these lovely, I've seen them on TV. These red, weird kind of looking flowers. I think Monty Don, my hero in lockdown, has had a few on his programme. I'm really getting into gardening, so looking at Monty Don's stuff, right, what he does. I really got into it. Anyway, it's beside the point. So, again, I don't do a lot of blending. If you start blending things together, you're actually going to lose that lovely colour underneath, aren't you? You know? So the idea is to keep moving about the picture. Look for shapes that like that. I can see this lovely green. And then I get a negative space in the background. And then I get, where I've got this petal there, between the two petals. I mean, that's a really, really nice negative space. I can start with blue and then I can add white to it. And I don't want You don't have to have the table top, yeah. It doesn't need to be sitting there on a table. We can leave it kind of, once you put a shadow on the base like that, it's going to sit on anything, so you don't have to keep putting things in. You want to kind of focus on the colours in the petals and the flowers. So here I've got a nice negative space there, and a shape just between, and then here where the yellow is, I've got a negative there, and then a negative between. There's some yellow there, so I missed that out. So I can use my strong white again, this one, to kind of blend it. So like anything, it's tactile stuff. The more you press on, the more white it's going to be. Negative space, all along the stem. Lovely shapes. Like that. I got some really nice flowers there. So. And then these are the stamens, so just paint some of the background in them. The angle, and then this shape, which comes down to the table, which we're not painting, so it's we've got a nice dark area, which is this thing, this is a leaf. I'll just blend that in a bit and then pick it out with the white that blends into my blue. Think about complementary colours. You can use oranges and blues and all that kind of red and greens, yeah, all the time, and as you paint, you start to see other colours within the objects, yeah. So we've got oranges in there, and we've got shapes, very dark areas, and we've got reddish, yeah, tonal values and sharp tone. And we also do it with the negative space, so if you want, where we got these little balls of tone, we've got green underneath of the flowers, so every now and again, not the flowers, the leaves, so you pick out a negative like that around the flowers. But you don't, like I said, you don't have to put it all in, we just put a shape in, and then we get another stem coming out, and then the stem going that way, and then a leaf going this way, yeah? Make it up. You don't have to put some leaves in that are not actually there. Why not? Doesn't matter. If it does the job, leave it. Have a good time. Whatever you're doing, have a good time. Little bits of green, warmer green, urine green, bluey green, not urine green, and these lovely shapes. Use quite a bit of blue. This vase actually disappears now, and if you've got a lot of different tones of a colour, you can use that. If not, you just add white to a tone to make it lighter. For instance, again we've got a hard pastel. I've got a negative space here which is slightly lighter, and it's coming around here, and then that kind of disappears in. It's reflecting the tabletop, although we're not doing the tabletop. And then on this side of the vase base we've got some lights just on there, and then this side we have they're actually white, but not white, they're kind of orange tones, things like that. On the rim here, got a bit of white. That disappears into something else. Again, we need the rim to be wide enough, like that. And we need this to be a better shape, actually. We'll keep looking at the shape to make it symmetrical. I'm trying to, again, it's easy to put it in and then paint over it, just to get this symmetry, if you like. Again, greens, you go over the tone and it's going to bring out that shape. Keep standing back as well. You can't get very far in here, but you can see where the colours are coming in. And then I'm going to just use a bit of a a dark blue again, just to bring out some of my objects. Now I've got a better idea where things are going to be. You know, I can just kind of bring out some of these darker objects, and then where you've got these little flowers like that, beautiful, and then the dark bit underneath, and then you get the stem, and the bit kind of in between this flower, which is here, which is just on one side. So bring that in, nice and dark. Add more light later, that's it. This is a bit darker on this side, then it goes into a stem, and we get a lovely orangey kind of shape here, which I've already got in, with a line down the middle, that kind of thing. Loads of yellows there, so that's okay. Something like a big leaf coming out there, and then this one, and then it goes a bit darker here. Yeah. I mean, I'm only doing an hour's worth again, so I want to kind of stop before I get too far with it, because we want to stop just to give you an impression, really, of the scene, of what you're painting. Okay, you don't have to spell everything out. You will have to spell things out for some people who don't know what anything is, but the majority of people will actually see what the objects are. Okay, so let the others who don't know what they are find them on their own. You know what I mean? Okay, lovely blues again. That's really nice blue. This is the one in the middle there, because I got this really beautiful kind of blue reflections. You can see. This disappears into the background mainly, and then I'm going to look for more of these negative spaces in between things like that, using my white like this. Okay, squint, take your glasses off. Don't take your glasses off. If you're like me, you'll need these reading glasses. I have my eyes done, I can see forever, I can see the moon and everything there, but I can't read a book anymore. I used to be able to read without glasses now, since I have my eyes done, which is brilliant, I'm not complaining. I need glasses to see pictures. Okay, spray, I'm going to spray it. Stand by. What are we going? 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. So I'm going to spray and dry. Spray and dry, spray and dry. Okay, and you'll see that it goes darker again, which means I can put stronger colours on. You can move on to some LA if you've got them, so Right, so you don't have to, just make sure it's dry, that's all. And you know, we're going to put some more of these lovely shapes in, then add a flower or two, just to get this negative like that. And we can try and bring out some of these flowers now, so you're looking at lighter tones. So if I look for this one, I've got a really strong light coming down the petal there, and then over this side it's a straight line, and then over here I've got this kind of shape that goes in and then it curves around here like that, and then it goes over this side, but it's not as it's darker than that, and then I got a squiggly bit, squiggly goes in, and this comes out, something like that. Right. And then this as well. So just some little areas that we want to just emphasise. That's a little bit darker. Now, like I said, if you want it to go darker, you can have a mixture red and blue. Or you can just use a purple. Yeah. So it's a bit of red and blue just to give me that darker tone. Coming down there, right into the centre of that flower. And this is this shape of a flower here against the pinky. I have got a very light pink, and I've only got a little bit left. I have to go and get some more, which is that one. Can you see? Look at that, beautiful. So that stands out quite a bit against the blue. But I'm just looking at shapes, so I'm not kind of, oh, I broke it. I'm not just kind of just blocking in areas, really, to give you a feeling for some of these flowers, if you like, petals. So here, again, the top of this, nice pink. I've got some lovely light there on that petal. It does change a little bit here. It's got spots as well. But the detail you can put in later, so don't worry about doing it now. I've got shiny bit, and then it goes soft a little bit. Got a negative there. This is the one, so I've got a little bit of highlights on those. These are the kind of curved red shapes. Because I've fixed that, I can go a lot deeper red, can you see, underneath if you want, just like that. I start to pick out some of the other shapes in a cool red, if you like that. So this, I forgot my white. These little, they look like actually fruits. These little berry type things, and you've got these little reflections on the skin. It's like that, and little bits like that. Again, I've got a dark green, so we use the dark green around some of the berries just to bring them out a bit. There's lots and lots to do on this, and I will never be able to get it done in so short a time, but I just want to create an impression of it. Okay, so again we've got some lovely kind of warm reflections there, and a bit of warmth there on that petal, flower, oranges, dark oranges, and reds. So yep. Orange, red, angles, shapes, all about the same thing. Alright, and then through the looking glass, so we've got these, there's a bit of kind of turquoisey colour, off bluey, white, green kind of thing. And again, we can use this for negative space, which is in the background around the object. Yeah? So the background is going to be quite a big flat area of tone, and the flowers are going to come from this flat area of tone. Okay, so pastels are really good for opaqueness because they're like oil paints. You paint the background and they cover up anything that you've got in the background, so that's what we want to do. Yeah? So you can spend the whole afternoon just painting the background, really. And at the end of it, you've got a lovely bowl of flowers. So yeah, things like that. So this is when I've got that curvy leaf here, the shape through to the background, and then we've got a shape here as well, dark shape there. Okay, and these oranges you're looking at for yellows. Got quite a few different yellows. This is quite soft, strong colour. There's no way we're going to try and paint every petal on that head, that flower head, but I can add the green, and that will bring out the shapes like that. And same here, put the green underneath, which is where the stems are, and then we can add more to that later. And again, we've got here, got a clump, big clump of these lovely green, yellow flowers. Some of them are actually in the shape like that. Beautiful. Then some are going up here as well, in the shape of, and then we've got some kind of yellowy ones here and there, and then this comes down here. I've got quite a bit of negative space there. This is the a mass of them there, next to that. All the time it's tightening. You're tightening it up. You're going darker, lighter, things like that. Looking at a shape around a shape. Alright? If I just show you, what time is it? Oh, bags of time. This is the white. Look at that. This is the Sennelier white. If I start using that now, you know, and then blend it in, I can get really strong background tones. For instance, you've got a reflection here, got a couple of reflections there, one here, and you know, other kind of things happening on that glass vase, like that. And we can just leave little bits of tone, little reflection here and there, something here. Nothing too fussy. Just brings out the shape of the vase and where it's sitting. A bit lighter on this side and dark on the other. Alright? Again, because this kind of curves here, get a little bit darker. And then you can fix it again, you can keep fixing it, but you just have to keep building up the tone of it. Alright, but I'm going to add more light into the background because I want to get these really nice negative spaces here. So this is the hard white, and I just want to create, you see these little kind of yellow, these little kind of spaces between the stalks and the stems and whatever, and that's what I'm after now. So I'm just going to bring out those spaces and leave the paper as a stalk or a stem. Right? Again, this is just a hard white pastel. We've got other things there. Start seeing kind of another kind of cool green, beautiful cool greens against the background. The beauty of pastel is you've got all these different colours. It's a shame if you don't use them. Yeah. Keep going, keep blocking in, keep looking. Take your glasses off. Just keep looking. Keep looking. Lovely green. Yeah, against red. Yeah, beautiful. Even if it's not the same colour as it is on the piece of paper, on the picture, or it's not the same colour as it is on the objects you're looking at, think about how that green's going to shout at you against the red. Huh? It is really nice kind of shade. So I'm going lighter. You can see. So you're going a lot lighter like that. We're also going warmer as well in places. So some of these leaves, like I said, are just catching a light. I'm not even trying to paint veins or anything like that. It's just too much detail. You want to get the overall shape of things and leave it. There's a kind of a shape here. This is where the negative shape, you can see how light that is now. The negative shapes come into play to create a leaf shape or an object in front of something, you know, but instead of just trying to create realism, if you like. It's, if you get everything in the right place, you'll create the realistic value that you're after. You know? If that's what you're after. You might not be after realism. Can't say a lot of the time I am. I just look at the colour. I love colour actually. I get more into colour as I get older as well. You start to realise when your eyes are going a bit that colour is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Good song there somewhere. Alright. You can ask me questions later, I don't know. Negative space again, looking at the shape of things like this. Doing a bit more detail now if you want. You know, just where things disappear. Again, around some of the flowers, just bringing out the petals. It's like if you do watercolour flowers, you watercolour flower painters know that the less you do to petals, the better they look. So it's the background you paint more than you actually paint. The flowers, so it should be anyway, but that's what I find. Lovely stem. And this is going into that lovely green. So that's quite light now, isn't it? So I want some white in here. Too white. Where's that yellow? I usually have them in my hand, these colours, because once you put them down, you lose them again. So this is that lovely bud, there, and we've got some nice warm, coolest colours here, and we've got some more darks. So if you add the darks underneath the yellow, you get those little flowers. Somebody will tell me what they are. Anybody know? No. What those flowers are called? Those lovely yellowy ones with green undersides and whatever. Beautiful. Beautiful. So inside some of these bunches, you get lighter tone. You know, so again, you can either use the white to pick it up, but not too much. And then I'm using the white in between the flowers to give me the background shapes. Okay, so this, if I go around some of these tones, and not necessarily creating a petal, a leaf, or whatever, doesn't matter. We just go around things so you can see through the flowers, but not too much because it looks a bit strange once you start doing it too much. So this is the, and we can do a bit of blending there. That's that lovely kind of blend on there, bend. More light on this side and along that edge. The background is probably the only bit that I actually blend because I want it to be a flat tone, if you like, against those colours. Yeah. Again, it's quite warm here. It's actually reflecting the table, but you've got a nice warmth across and a nice warmth. So it's all these lovely oranges, blues. Yeah. And because we've fixed it, the blues have gone a little bit darker. Yeah. So we can go back into them, strengthen them. Fabulous. More yellow, especially with the water, because that's the edge of the water, and that's quite dark now. More yellow, and then it staggers to that bit. Yeah? Staggering. observational. Observe. Right within here, what's going on? Fairly dark shapes up here. Well, they're actually green, but I'll just blow that in, I think. Yeah, so this is my scenario now. Picking out negative background shapes. And so you can blend into the blue that we've already got, if you want. You can pick out the tops of these flowers. And the problem with this scenario is it's like butter and it disappears on your fingers. And now I can actually pick out some of these negatives again. I'm forever picking out shapes like this. Little triangle bits where your flowers are around them. So you're not actually drawing the flowers, you're painting the background around them. Again, if you've had a rough day, you can be very forceful and scribble, called scribbling. If you want to take out your frustration on something, very, very quick. Marks. It's all about the marks. The problem with pastels, as we know, is you're not supposed to spray them at the end because they go dark again. So you're supposed to keep this lovely brilliant colour and store them in between tissue paper. I've just ordered some acid free actually. Just want to have a look at some of these tones down in here because it's not working yet. So if I go into my shadows with some kind of reflective light, you see, you get a feeling for it. You can actually draw it as well if you wanted to, but it's not that strong shadow. But you could actually draw a shape like that. And then soften the edges using its negative orange. It's complementary, I mean. And then go over it with other colours. Purples. Pinks. See? So these lovely lighter tones, just picking out shapes in between some of the leaves again and the branches, and your interpretation of what you're looking at. Okay. Leaves and branches. No, I'm not doing trees today, we're doing flowers. Oh, sorry, my brain's not working very well today. So there you have it, really. I could spray again. This is a hard pastel again, hard white. So the background is a lot lighter than the flowers. And I put the blue on first because I wanted to have a blue cast, because that's what it is on the picture, but and it's complementary, so that's one of the reasons. Think about complementary colours and then you go in with the complementary of whatever the colour is over the top. And it makes it stand out. So again, the lightest tones now are going to be very strong within these petals shapes. Slide out. Okay. Other darks. Little shapes between things. Background shape. Between stems and flowers, yeah. Strengthen some edges, soften other edges. That's too light, see? Knock it back. Okay. There is a cloth you can get for doing this, and it softens things, so you can do it over here. You can do it with the hand as well. You're actually knocking it back and then reinforcing things. See? Knock it back a bit. So yeah, more orange up here because I got rid of a lot of it. There's lovely kind of lines. So this is where you do the detail, yeah, towards the end. We got everything in place now, so it looks like a mass of flowers, but it's not really. It's pastel. Right. Inside there, keep losing my pastel. It's quite dark, and then we got these, like I said, the stamen. It's quite dark. It's got this cup, really, yeah. And the stamen go inside there, and it's just a little bit darker, but not much. And we can also see the light hitting the petals on the other side. Sometimes I wonder how the hell I just keep talking. I never know what I'm going to say at the start. I've lost my nice pink. Never mind. Oh, here it is. So the bit at the side of his stamen is lighter. You can see. At the top. Again, the white bits around them. Blend it. That's the edge. You can see how the white just brings out an object like that. Is this flower? Yeah. So all I've done there is just painted the background. Nothing much else. More yellow. Warmer yellow, sorry, orangey. More orangey. Start to break off these and then get a nice dark tone. Sometimes I do use black, but I'm not going to use it today. And get a nice dark tone and add a few more stems like that. It's just a dark green, that. So you can get the negative. Positive shapes. Love the old mantelpiece. If you've still got a mantelpiece, that is. We have. There's a big mirror there. Link things together, yeah. Create shapes that look beautiful together. Warms, cools, I just love some of these cool greens though, I can see, which are within the object, especially around where the flowers are. Alright, have the same wigging. Alright. I quite like the bar, so I'm going to leave it. If you had black, just as you've got black pastel, you always get black with a set of pastels. I just use it for the very, very strong darks. Not a lot, not a lot, because it's quite overpowering. If you start mixing it with your other colours, you go grey. I mean, literally. But the black makes it sit. Yeah? So you can have a few stems there, quite dark as well. Right in the middle. And you can soften that, you can blend it or whatever. I think I'm going to leave it. What time is it? Well, I started at 5 to, but stand back. I'm quite happy with that. Probably reform this kind of thing. This is a warm pastel. Bringing out the shape of the table, but not actually painting the grain of the wood. It's just the light coming from one direction, and you can have the same thing happening in a reflected light. Lighter there, creating a depth, if you like. I just think this, because when you stand at an angle, you get a twist in your vision. So, you know, instead of doing it from the side, just have a look from the centre, and you'll see what's where you're out. It should be out every now and again. A few little dots. Little dots. Which are brown actually, so I've got these. Just a little bit of detail, shape, stamen. These are different. And then we've got these lovely shapes coming out. The leaves. Nice pointy leaves, angular myrtle. And stop, dead, never to go again. Yeah, I'm going to stop, turn it. You always better stop in and then have a look at it tomorrow, or a couple of hours. Take the tape off. The tape makes it into a painting, really, because you actually put in a small border around it and it makes it look better. So that's why as well as to keep it attached to the board, we take the picture to the board. Yeah. You end up with a nice white border. Bulldog clips are a must. There's a lot of dust, okay? Whatever you do, don't keep blowing. Just wipe it up with a damp cloth. And it should start breathing it all in. And you'll be coughing like mad. Alright. There we go. Nice colours. Beautiful colours. Okay? I'll take a picture later and put it on. I can have a look. You can carry on with that detail. Yeah. You can get your pastel pencils out, whatever. You can tighten it and tighten it, tighten it. But it's the looseness I'm always after. The looseness of the picture, of the colours. You can still pick out these negatives between the flowers, you see. And that gives you the shapes of the petals and whatever. But I don't want. Just leave it. Lots of marks as well, because I do like seeing marks. A dog with her lip. Alright, might add a bit more dark actually on the left hand side. I'm going to leave it for now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday afternoon. It's going to be 1 o'clock. Yeah, my glass wants straightening up. 1 o'clock Thursday, because is it yeah, 1 o'clock because it's normal time. But the rest of the week on Tuesday, it's going to be 2. And watercolour tomorrow, unless the closes down. Okay, see you soon. Happy painting. Bye.